Well, I comment the Word of God of today, starting from the Gospel. When they had eaten, Jesus said to Simon Peter, "Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these others do?" He answered, "Yes, Lord, you know I love you." Jesus said to him, "Feed my lambs." A second time he said to him, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" He replied, "Yes, Lord, you know I love you." Jesus said to him, "Look after my sheep." Then he said to him a third time, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" Peter was hurt that he asked him a third time, "Do you love me?" and said, "Lord, you know everything. You know I love you." Jesus said to him, "Feed my sheep." In all truth, I tell you, when you were young, you put on your own belt and walked where you like it. But when you grow old, you will stretch out your hands, and somebody else will put a belt around you and take you where you would rather not go. In these words, he indicated the kind of death by which Peter would give glory to God. After this, he said, "Follow me." Considering the questions posed by Jesus to Peter, we understand that the fundamental criterion for giving the mission to Peter is love. In fact, Jesus is asking to Peter, "Do you love me?" Love is central. After his answers, Jesus tells, "Follow me." Jesus is giving the mission to Peter, the mission to be the head, to be the chief, better to say, of the church here in this world. The real head with the capital letter, with a capital H, is Jesus, the real head. But Peter is put in chief of his church. But we can understand, reading this passage, that the power Jesus is giving to Peter is not that kind of glory the world thinks about this kind of power. It is a different kind of glory. This kind of power is based on responsibility. This kind of power is based on action. This kind of power is based on service. Peter is in charge of the church. And for this reason, the mission is to be useful for all the church and to guide all the church. This is the logics of love. Love enables the mission. And thanks to love, it is possible for Peter to have power. But the power is within the framework of love. Therefore, the power is service and responsibility. So we can understand that those missions or that mission that Jesus gives us personally for our life, for your life, is enabled by love. This mission does not consist in establishing a statue of ourselves. This mission consists in loving. This kind of case, Peter is requested to give his life. In fact, there is written in those words, he indicated the kind of death by which Peter would give glory to God. Peter is requested to die for God, for the truth. But this kind of death does not consist in a real death, because the life, the biological life, is giving for the truth, for the gospel, for God. This kind of death consists in acquiring the eternal life. Peter doesn't want to die, obviously. He's not mad. He is conscious of the importance to bring the truth. And this is the reason why he goes on to the cross, to a similar cross as that of Jesus. Also, in the first reading, we can read something similar, because there is written about Paul put in an appeal for his case to be reserved for the judgment of the emperor. So I ordered him to be remanded until I could send him to Caesar. Paul is asking to go to the judgment of the emperor in order to go to Rome. Also, Paul knows the big sacrifice he's going to face. Also, Paul, like Peter, knows that this sacrifice is for the eternal life. He does not want to die, obviously, but he says, yes, I give my life, for the truth. So we also are requested to use our life for life, in the sense not to desire to die, not in this sense, but in the sense that we can use our life for loving. if we use our life for loving, okay, we have answered to the call of Jesus. Does not matter the way Jesus decides us to put in place our mission. The real important thing is to answer to the request of Jesus with love. So we can ask to ourselves the measure of love present in our life, because this measure, which is important for enabling our mission, therefore for enabling to live with authentic dignity. And this is a universal message, a message which is valid in every century, in every time. For example, in the one of the book of the Bible, there is written about two persons who will give their lives for witnessing the truth. These two persons will stand for defending the Church of Jesus Christ, will stand against the Antichrist. This is the same. The Church can pray for them, for these people, for these persons, because these are asked to bring the truth, to bring love, to defend the Church. For sure, it will be a great sacrifice, because it will be a sacrifice for the Church. But this sacrifice will renew the world. The world will change. And this is a sacrifice of love too. So let's try to think about our life in terms of the fundamental principle upon which our life is based. Is it based on love or not? Try to answer to it. And don't worry if you believe that the answer is not. You can ask to God for love. And for sure, God wants to help each of us. So thank you and good night.